Max. It's been a few months since I've been able to get a video done, and I apologize in advance for that. Dealing with some personal issues that are going on and haven't really had a chance to record what I wanted to record, but I do want to bring an update to you guys and kind of show you what's been going on. So it's going to be a pretty decently quick tour of all the upgrades and updates and everything we've got going on. So I'll go over each tank if needed in a little more detail, but for right now it's going to be pretty short and sweet. So I've missed you guys. For everybody that stuck around and continued watching the videos, all the new subscribers, thank you guys so much. Definitely appreciate it, and I'm going to be trying to get a video out once a week now, just to make it a little bit easier, and we'll go from there. I might be able to get a couple more out per week, but we'll see. So anyways, here we go. If you guys recall, and you can check back in the previous videos, these were all cherry barbs, and they still are. Most of the adults are gone. We're down to one male, or two males, I'm sorry. There's one there, there's one there. There's two females that are back in this nest over here. And then we've got a ton of babies. There's probably at least 20 to 25 in there. We sold out 20 of them at an auction we went to not that long ago. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, which will probably be a couple of days since you see this. But we went to the fish auction on Sunday, and we sold at least 20 cherry barbs, and we still got close to 30 in there. So they did pretty well. Down here, we still have the Bloody Mary shrimp. They have started to reproduce, and of course, Ram's horn snails are in there. But we've got some babies, quite a few babies in here. So we're doing that. We did move I believe the kois were in here at one point, the koi swordtails. Maybe not, maybe something else was, I don't remember. But we have two new angels. We have two koi angels that are in there. From what it looks like, it's very possible they're a breeding pair. The one has already laid eggs twice and then eaten them, but they seem to be really close, and I can never quite get both of them out at the same time to see their breeding tubes. So I'm not sure. One's definitely a female. They both could be female, but it's hard to tell. We picked them up. We have a tank of koi swords here, which we've actually sold quite a few of these guys as well. I know that there was a lot of people that were interested in these. If you're still interested, hit me up, let me know. I mean, you can see that there's, again, Fry, so I'm gonna have to let her know. For those of you that aren't familiar, Jess is down here more than I am with these guys. These are her babies. So now that the one spawned again, we gotta get them out and moved. But you can see that there's a ton of growth in here. A lot of Java grass, or Java moss, a lot of naja grass. There's some water sprayed up there too. So she's spawning as we speak, and I got to get her down here to get those out. But we still have empty tank, empty tank, empty tank. They are completely cycled, but they're not ready to go yet. They will be soon. Moving along, this tank was empty, and you can see it's all kind of calcified, which is, I got to fix that. But we picked these guys up at the auction yesterday, and it's really hard to see them. But there are green cories. We had 4, 2 of them didn't make it. They were in the bag for at least 16 hours because of the auction. So we bought 4, 2 of them didn't make it. We also purchased 2 pairs of endlers. We popped them in, and sure enough, overnight, we've got about 20 fry plus. I don't know if I can maybe get up here and show you guys. Let me see if I can see them here. She popped as soon as we put her in here. So there's like 20 fry in here, and I'm trying to, I know this video is gonna get kind of goofy, but I don't know if I can see them or not. It's really difficult because they're really small, but they're twin bar endlers. We picked those up for a couple bucks for the 2 pairs. They're a breeding pair of angels that were in here. We sold them off at the auction as well. The plan initially was to move the platinum blue pearl scales down here. However, I did pick up some multis, and their actual home, which you'll see in a second, is the tank that I had been bragging about and telling you guys was going to be a surprise. We got the they're Neolamprologus multifasciatus. They're sand dwellers, they are shell dwellers, they love to move around sand. These guys, again, had a really rough trip yesterday, and you can still see some of them have really red gills. That's considerably better than they were when we put them in there yesterday. A lot of them had been, like one was literally on its back floating. I didn't think it was gonna make it. I really didn't. And you can see she's back there right now spitting out sand. She's making her little nest. But I didn't think they were gonna make it at all. And it was a fresh water. It was literally, we set the tank up because the tank was already cycled and ready to go, already had sand. We pulled the slate granite out and kind of just did a quick water change on it. We changed 90% of the water and then filled it back up, put in some stress coat and everything, and then boom, we tossed these guys in there and they look a million times better. Every one of them are still living so far. I don't believe that's gonna change because they look so much better than they did. A lot of them, the redness is almost completely gone. On some of them, it is completely gone. So yeah, we have the Daniels in here still. They're not doing as well as, you know, they should be. Not sure exactly what's going on. So we'll see what happens. We moved these out of the cherry barb tank because there was a ton of them in there. So we're gonna end up going through and doing a water change and cleaning this tank up a little bit too, see what's going on with them. But they've done pretty well. It's just lately they seem to be kind of not doing as hot as they should be. But anyways, moving on. So the 72 bow front, you guys have seen this. This tank wasn't really as stocked as it is now. We have diamond tetras, we have black skirt tetras, serpe tetras, there are bloodfin tetras, there are these blue, I can't remember the exact name, I'd have to ask Jess, but there are these like blue dolphin tetras. These things are, I mean, they're so awesome looking. They really, really, really are. I love those, the way they look. We picked those up at an auction as well, not that long ago. They just look super duper cool. So we have all of them, plus we got the Corys in there still, and they're still super active. The one treat that we did add, and I'll go into detail more about these guys, but we have some discus now. There's one of them, there's the other one. We picked those up when we went to a swap. So we've added some new fish. The tank is extremely full now. It's extremely filled with plants, and it's, you know, super duper cool looking. It's filled out so much more. It looks great. I'm absolutely just thrilled that this came out the way that it did. So these guys, there's about 5 of every fish in there. We got the bristlenose in there now too. So it's just, yeah, they turned out to be really, it's an amazing tank. It's a beautiful tank. The 55 had guppies in it. The guppies are no longer with us. We did get rid of them. And the bristlenose that were in here moved over. We had the koi swords in here for a while. We moved those out and we gutted this tank. Reason being is I didn't want sand in it anymore, and that was just that. So, which reminds me, actually, now that we got that all filled out, we throw this back in here. So we gutted it, cleaned it. I'm gonna add one more little filter in there, sponge filter. But that was just recently refilled. This is gonna be the Multi's actual home. You guys have seen this tank empty before. There is sand in there, the filter's in there. This tank's 100% cycled, ready to go. I did not want to put them in here yet because I wanted them to be in a smaller tank so I could keep an eye on them. That's why we did what we did. Just so we could do water changes, it'd be easier, it'd be a little bit less stressful on them. And it's worked out so far. Like I said, they've healed up a lot since. The 55 down here is gonna get moved pretty soon. It's still there. The 20 over here is still here, and the Fishroom's a mess because of the auction. Kuhaki swords are over here. These are gonna be getting moved soon upstairs. We have another 30-gallon tank that we're setting up. Empty, 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 empty. We still have cherry shrimp in here. And then we also have on the other side, more kuhakus, or not kuhakus, more koi swords. So like I said, if you guys, the ones that were interested in them, let me know. As you can see, they just dropped another batch of fry. We have some that are ready to go. We have a swap that's coming up, and we were undecided on what we were gonna do yet or not. If you guys are super seriously interested in them, let me know, and I'm sure we can figure something out and get that set up for you. We had cherry shrimp in here. For whatever reason, it just didn't seem like they were doing very well. And these are light cords, which I have to fix, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But for whatever reason, it didn't seem like they were doing really well in here, so we kind of shut this tank down, moved out the ones that were still alive, which was quite a few. And put them into another tank, over the other tank, so that they could be fine. We also have more Celestial Pearl Danios down here, the CPDs. You can kind of see these are all juveniles. We picked up another batch of them. But we also have, if I can find any, which of course now that I have this out, I'm not going to. There's one on the very bottom. We have some Blue Dream shrimp as well now. Here's one. We picked up quite a few of these guys too. So we got the Blue Dreams going. These tanks are still empty. So out of the ones that we have for shrimp, we've got 5 of them technically running, 3 with shrimp. And the last tank, which is last but not least, we have our pea puffer. He's floating around somewhere in here. I'm not sure. There he is. Pea puffer's in here, and we also got some convicts. The only reason I have convicts, and if everybody that's been in the hobby knows, convicts are kind of like the running joke of the fish world. They're like guppies for cichlids, basically. Everybody's got convicts. They were $1 and nobody was bidding on them. It was at an auction. I felt terrible. We had the room for them, so I got them. I got 6 of them for $1, and they're just in a little 16 high right now. But they will be getting moved out as they get bigger. This is only temporary, so if anybody's gonna, convicts are like 5 to 6 inches long. I know already. They won't be that size for a while. This is temporary. Like I said, I felt bad. No one was buying them, and I didn't want them to go into a tank with someone that didn't want them anymore. So we picked them up and we're giving them a home. Some of them look really amazing. Like this guy right here is just super stripy, which I like. But that's it for the fish room. We did add lights, as I'm blinding you. We have lights now. I hung those. So everything has lights, but that's just a pretty quick run-of-the-mill tour. Like I said, I'll get into a little more depth with the tanks later, but everything's still kind of a mess because we just got back from the auction yesterday. We left the house at 7:30 in the morning. We didn't get back until it was after 7 at night. It was 12 hours being gone, and we bagged the fish up the night before, put oxygen in their bags, got them all ready to go, left them in the tanks floating so they were temped. And then when we got up in the morning, we finished bagging them up and tagging them and bringing them in. So we haven't really had much time other than to get everybody in, acclimated, do the water changes we needed to do. It's been a busy weekend. Been a busy weekend. So, but we have aquatic experiences coming up next weekend, and then there's another swap for us that'll be out in 2 weeks. So we'll be at Aquatic Experience. I'm not sure. We're not going to be there all 3 days. We're only going to hit it up for 1 day just to check it out, because I guess this is the last year they're doing it in Chicago, which is going to be like 2 hours from us. So we want to go and check it out and make sure that we've actually been there. We can say that we've been there. But once these guys heal, these multis heal, we're going to pull them out of here. And you can see she's already got her home made. She's digging and going into her shell. But anyways, once those guys are healed up enough, they're going in there and they'll be set in their home. These guys are going into a bigger tank. This is a temporary home for them. This 55, I don't know what's going in there yet. We almost got a breeding pair of discus, but we didn't have this tank set up. So we didn't. We also almost got a flower horn, but they went for pretty high. And I just wasn't gonna spend that right now, considering we just don't have the room for it yet. But that tank's gonna be set up pretty soon and going. This tank should be hopefully up and going soon. And then the last couple 20s that we have left will be running as well. That's about it. We did win an RO system at the auction yesterday, which again was Sunday. If you haven't watched the beginning of the video, auction was Sunday. There you go. We did win a RO unit. It's 100 gallons per day. It's only a 3-stage, which isn't terrible, but if we really want to now, we can get in the Caradinas, which is very possible, because there's some Caradina shrimp that Jess has been looking at, and he's my booby collection, so forgive me. But we won that in the auction. It was bought some raffle tickets, dumped them in. This was the current prize, or the last prize they gave out. And we picked it up, which was cool. We also won a door prize, which was a bunch of shrimp stuff. So there's like this little log we got out of it. There were some mulberry leaves we got out of it, some food, and all sorts of other stuff. So we walked out with some pretty cool stuff. We ended up selling the fish for a pretty good amount. But other than that, that's really about it. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Like I said, we had a couple casualties because it was such a long day for the fish, but we saved most of them. We bought quite a few and only lost 2, which were the green cories, so not too upset by that. But if you guys haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share it out. Let's get some more people into the fish keeping hobby. If you have any questions, let me know, drop them in the box below. We'll be sure to answer them the best that we can. And as always, happy fish keeping, folks.